Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with a Madden 18 experiment today. Today, we're going to be seeing if a team full of current NFL free agents could make the playoffs. Now, I have not done many Madden 18 experiments on the channel this year. This is something I did a lot during Madden 17. And I know a lot of people have been asking for me to bring them back on the channel because a lot of people do enjoy them. Some people don't. Maybe it's not some people's cup of tea, but some people do enjoy them, so I will up them on the channel. I do enjoy making them, so if you guys have any other ideas for Madden 18 experiments, let me know in the comment section below. And if you do enjoy these, make sure to drop a like so I know you do enjoy them. Let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes on this video. So like I said, we are going to be seeing if a team full of current NFL free agents could make the playoffs, and we are going to be using the Cleveland Browns. So what I do want to show you first, I want to go through the depth chart and show you all of the free agents and show you who is going to be starting at every position. Going to be kind of controversial, but Colin Kaepernick is going to be our starting quarterback because overall wise, he is the best available free agent quarterback. Robert Griffin is going to be our backup at a 72 overall. And now this is where I feel like our team could be hurt, because to do good in simming and connected franchise, you got to have a pretty good quarterback. And 74 overall really doesn't give you a good shot to win the Super Bowl or really make the playoffs with the team, but hey, it's not a bad team overall, but we'll have to see if we can make the playoffs with the 74 overall quarterback. Now, running back's actually not bad. D'Angelo Williams, the veteran, is an 85 overall, so he is our starting running back with Rashad Jennings backing him up. Chris Johnson recently was cut by the Cardinals during their last roster cuts. He's a 79. He's our third string running back with James Starks, also a veteran, at a 78 overall. Fullback, we got some beast fullbacks. 87 overall, Michael Burton, and 84 overall, Jerome Felton. At wide receiver, got some pretty good wide receivers as well. Vincent Jackson, another veteran. This is a theme throughout this video, is just a lot of veterans that costed a lot of money, so the teams cut them later on throughout training camp when they had to make their last roster moves. Victor Cruz is another player that recently got cut. He's a 78. Jeremy Curley's another one. At Stevie Johnson as well, and Eddie Royal. Now, as tight end, we got some pretty beast tight ends. Ladarius Green and Gary Barnidge. Dennis Pitta's an 88 overall, but for some reason, even though pre-existing injuries are off, it still has him listed as injured. And some people said once you sim into week 2, that will go away, so we'll have to see if that's the case. But hopefully he can start because he's a higher overall than the other two. Now, our offensive line is kind of mad. Nobody too great. Got Khalif Barnes at left tackle with 76 overall. Left guard got Alex Boone, 83 overall. Was also recently cut during the last roster cuts, but I'm glad he was because we can have him on the team. At center, a pretty good center though. Jeremy Zutaw, 84 overall. The Nick Mangold, the 82, backing him up. At right guard, we have 81 overall, Garrett Reynolds. So the offensive line actually is about an average of an 80 overall. So that's actually not that bad. The offense, the only really bad part of our offense is the quarterback position with the 74 overall Colin Kaepernick. So we'll have to see if our offense is good enough to make the playoffs. At defense, have some pretty decent players. At left end, we're actually going to have Mario Williams start since he is an 80 overall. What the heck? Well, that's so that's weird. Don't really know how to feel about that. Once you change them in the depth chart, their overalls change. So I guess we will keep Quentin Coples there. That's another flaw in Madden Connected Franchise. It's the first time that's ever happened to me. But moving on to the right end position, Randy Stark is going to be our starting right end at a 78 overall. Actually, no, Dwight Freeney is going to be our starting right end at a 78 overall, unless his overall changes. Don't know why he wasn't our starter. Yes, he is going to be our starter at a 78 overall. Don't know why this game is being crazy, but we're going to continue. At defensive tackle, some decent defensive tackles. Dan Williams, Ian Williams, two Williams. I'm guessing they're not brothers because Williams is a common last name. And this guy, Ruben, who was also cut quite recently during the last roster cuts, he is our third defensive tackle at a 78 overall. At left outside linebacker, Daryl Smith, 79 overall, backed up by Mike Neal. Got some pretty decent middle linebackers though. Perry Riley, 83 overall. Ray Malaluga, 78. Then Aaron Henderson at the right side. Got the other veteran, Trent Cole, 79 overall. DeAndre Levy at a 78. Got some decent cornerbacks as well. Got 83 Tremaine Brock, 81 Darrell Revis. We also have Sam Shields, who needs to be our third cornerback. And I don't know why it didn't automatically update this. Our fourth cornerback is going to be Leon Hall, and our fifth cornerback is going to be Jairus Byrd. So definitely not an incredible set of cornerbacks, but some good ones in there. At free safety, we have Jairus Byrd and Calvin Pryor, who was also cut by the Browns during the last roster cuts. And he's back on the Browns now for this video since they are the team we are going to be using. At strong safety, TJ Ward, another player cut during the last batch of roster cuts, 81 overall. Then at kicker, the poor man Robert Aguayo, who was actually drafted by the Buccaneers as a kicker. Then he struggled as a rookie and then he got cut, signed by another team, and then he got cut again. So poor old Robert Aguayo, but hopefully he can do well in this experiment. And at punter, we have Jacob Schum, a 72 overall. So with that said, boys, I'm going to predict, I mean, it's not a bad team. It's not a great team, but it's not a bad team. It's about average. So do I think we're going to make the playoffs? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say we go 7-9. We could do as good, I believe, as 9-7. But from what has happened to me in experiments and simming, like during rebuilds and stuff, this game can be absolutely crazy during rebuilds. So I'm gonna say 7-9, but we could go about 9-7. If we get more than 9 wins, you will consider me completely shocked. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and sim to the midpoint of the season and see how we're doing. I'm gonna say at mid-season we're 4-4. That's my guess. So let's see what our record is looking like. We have a bye week. We just lost to the Vikings. We have nobody regress or nobody progress. At least give us a couple wins. I'm kind of scared. We are 4-4, so I was right. Looks like we could potentially win the division, man, because everybody is doing about average in the AFC North. We are technically last, but I mean, we're just like 1.5 games out of first place. So I was right with my prediction, 4-4. Not a great team, but like I said, we're good enough to compete. And I mean, at this point, at this rate, we might actually make the playoffs. But let's see how the games have been going. Have we been getting blown out? Has it been close games? It looks like for the most part, we've lost a couple. Our last 2 games haven't been going too well. We lost 2 games in a row by 10 points or more. We had a good streak. We started the season with 2 losses, then won 4 in a row, then lost 2 games in a row after the 4 wins in a row. So we're kind of streaky right now, but some pretty big wins. We beat the Colts, beat the Bengals, beat the Jets, beat the Texans. We've lost to both of our division rivals. We did beat the Bengals, though, who are in first place in our division, which is pretty crazy. But hopefully, how is our schedule the rest of the season? This could determine if we make the playoffs or not. Our schedule isn't that bad. We have a lot of divisional games left, which, I mean, obviously we didn't do too well so far against our divisional foes, but they were close games, so we could split the season with the Steelers and Ravens, and hopefully we can beat the Bengals again, although that was a close game. So with that, I do want to go and see how our team is doing statistically. Let's see, Colin Kaepernick, 28th in the NFL in terms of passing yards. We have the 18th offense in the NFL and almost dead last on defense, which I expected our defense to actually be better than our offense, so that's really weird. It actually looks like D'Angelo Williams is having a great year. Touchdown-wise, Colin Kaepernick's having a good year, 15 touchdowns to 6 picks, but not that many yards. But as you saw here, D'Angelo Williams is having a really good year. I think it said he was 4th in the NFL. 697 yards on the ground so far, which is pretty awesome. And let us see the MVP race. Tom Brady is up there. The Vikings have Sam Bradford up there, but of course we have nobody up there. So with that, boys, let's go ahead and simulate to the end of the season and see if we actually make the playoffs. At this rate, I don't think so. I'm going to stand by my 7-9 record. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below, how you think we're going to do. It's there, and we didn't make the playoffs. Wow. So, unfortunate, but let's see. Colin Kaepernick actually progressed to a 76 overall. Looks like he's the only player on offense that progressed. Gary Barnidge actually, oh no, he didn't regress. I was thinking he did. Ladarius Green actually progressed. Defensively, we had, I think DeAndre Levy went up to an 80 overall, and it looks about the same for the rest of our players. Quentin Copeles might have went up an overall, but I'm disappointed, man. We didn't make the playoffs. See, I was correct, dude. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. The truth. 7-9, I was correct. Just a couple games out of first place, but man, I didn't necessarily expect to make the playoffs, but at least I was right. At least I looked kind of smart in this video. So I do want to see why that happened. Did we have any close games? First, I want to go and look at our schedule and see if we were close to winning games in the second half of the season. If we go to the regular season, we lost 2 games after, like we lost 4 games in a row. Then we won a game, then lost 3 more games. So like we just were bad in the second half of the season. We gave up a ton of points defensively. I don't know what happened to our defense. We lost to the Packers by a couple points, but some of these losses were a little close, but it looks like we just weren't good enough to make the playoffs, plain and simple. Now, I do also want to go see who had like the best record in the NFL. The Steelers won our division. Let's just go to NFL. The Seahawks had the best record at 14-2. Hopefully, this is going to be real life. Hopefully, the Titans go 12-4, but probably not. The Vikings went 12-4 as well. And the Patriots, of course, won their division. And any surprises, the Raiders made the playoffs, Cowboys made the playoffs, Dolphins made the playoffs. That's a little bit of a surprise. And the Bengals, the Packers only won in 8 games, might be somewhat of a surprise to some people. The Chiefs only won in 7 games. Broncos only won in 6. Panthers only won in 5. Lions only won in 5. And the Jets and 49ers being the worst 2 teams in the NFL, not too big of a surprise. Now, to look at the stats. Russell Wilson actually won the MVP, as you just saw. We had the 26th offense in the NFL, which is not good whatsoever. And defensively, we had, it won't tell us. We are probably like 33rd in the NFL, although there's only 32 teams. I'm guaranteed we had the worst defense in the NFL. Facts. Facts. No, we didn't, actually. We were like close to dead last. So now, let me go ahead and look at our stats individually. Colin Kaepernick, not a bad year. 28 touchdowns, 15 picks. Rushing wise, we had D'Angelo Williams with a really good year, almost 1,300 yards. Receiving, we had Ladarius Green was our only 1,000-yard receiver. Our top wide receiver was Vincent Jackson. He had 12 touchdowns as well. Ladarius Green, an absolute beast. Defensively for us, who led us in sacks? Looks like it goes to Dwight Freeney, the veteran, with 7 sacks. Who led us in tackles? Perry Riley by a lot. Interceptions goes to the main man, Tremaine Brock. Now let's go look at the NFL in its entirety, see how some other players did, because we did have to release all the players on our team. So some teams might have picked up like our best players like Joe Thomas, Myles Garrett, those kind of players. So let's see where they ended up out of free agency. So let's first go to the quarterback position. Aaron Rodgers was an incredible year, 5,400 yards, 44 touchdowns, but yet they still went 8-8. Trevor Simeon's up there, who led the NFL in interceptions. This is always an interesting thing to look at. Dak Prescott. I don't know about that, but Cowboys still made the playoffs. Deshaun Watson, 20 interceptions as well. Deshaun Kaiser with 20. And he actually went to the Jets, so that's interesting because we had to release him. He got picked up by the Jets and obviously started for them. Now, rushing-wise, who led the NFL? LeGarrette Blount. He came in first with the former Eagle coming in second, almost 1,600 yards. Now, touchdown-wise goes to Karen Williams. 404 yards, 19 touchdowns. That's insane. Le'Veon Bell with 18 TDs. Derrick Henry, hopefully this happens in real life with 18 TDs. Darren Sproles with 18 touchdowns. So a lot of the backups getting a ton of touchdowns. LeGarrette Blount, his backup, had 12 more touchdowns than him. Madden's crazy. So receiving yard-wise, Randall Cobb had the most receptions. Yards goes to Michael Thomas, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones came in fourth, Devontae Adams in third. Receiving touchdowns goes to Michael Thomas. Terrence Williams is up there. Corey Davis. Hopefully this actually happens in real life. Marquise Lee, a surprise guy up here with 12. And last but not least, let's look at sacks. Who led the NFL in sacks? Anybody with 20? Yes, Brandon Graham with 23 and Trey Flowers with 20. Aaron Donald with 18. Interceptions goes to Bobby Wagner with 8. And Logan Ryan also with 8. Hopefully this all happens like in real life. And last thing before we sim to the Super Bowl, see who wins the Super Bowl. We already saw the MVP race. Blake Bortles is always up there, but gosh dang, he doesn't even start in real life. AFC Player of the Year goes to Tom Brady. We had nobody up there, of course. How about Rookie of the Year? Goes to Deshaun Watson of the Texans. Leonard Fournette of the Jaguars, who went 11-5, came in second. Deshaun Kaiser, who's on the Jets, came in third. The Titans had Corey Davis in fourth. And how about, okay, so the Jets picked up both David Njoku and Deshaun Kaiser, yet they still went 2-14. Khalfani Muhammad actually went 12-4. He's the running back that the Titans drafted, and he actually got cut in real life, so that's wild. AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Myles Garrett, who went to the Texans. So the Texans have J.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, and Jadeveon Clowney, yet they went 4-12. Now that will be a defense to reckon with in the next couple years, if that really did happen. And with that, Jabril Peppers went to the Bills, and Adoree Jackson's on the Titans came in 10th place in the Defensive Rookie of the Year. How about NFC? Might as well look at this too, because people will complain if I don't. Mitch Trubisky, of course, the number 1 draft pick, came in first. Dalvin Cook in second. Anybody stands out? Not really. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jared Davis won that, and that is that. So with that said, boys, let's go ahead and jump to the offseason and see who wins the Super Bowl to end off today's video. So to end off the return of the Madden 18 experiments, the winner of the Super Bowl is the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-28 over the Seattle Seahawks. So at least our divisional rival who won the division won the Super Bowl. It doesn't make us look as bad because we played in a tough division, right? If we were like in the AFC South, we would have won the division and made the playoffs. But that's going to do it, guys, for today's experiment. Hopefully you did enjoy, and if you did, make sure to drop a like. Like I said, let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes. And also, my notification thing has been messing up with some people. People have been tweeting at me saying they have not been getting my upload notifications. So if you could, be sure to, turn off the notification bell, then turn it right back on and see if that fixes anything. And if you don't have my notifications on, be sure to turn them on because that would be awesome. Like I said, let me know any future experiments you do want me to do on the channel in the comment section below. But with that said, guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will catch you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.